I am creating this commentary to discuss on the combination of my main product and ancillary text. The first part that I'm going to discuss is the house style. Our trailer, called The Watched, belongs to the psychological subgenre of horror. The main reason for this is because our trailer includes no actual scenes of seeing someone getting stabbed or killed like a typical thriller or slasher horror title. Instead, our trailer focuses on the idea of two teenage girls who have had to take shelter in an abandoned building from the heavy rain. A reason why our trailer suits the psychological subgenre is because it focuses on events of appearances of the antagonists following the two teenagers. For example, the scene in which the male antagonist is following the two teenagers into the park. We then have fast-paced scenes that revolve around the two teenagers being chased, dragged away, or pulled away from a window while screaming. Elements of our trailer that are similar to other products include the idea of the antagonists wearing masks which completely hide their identity to the two teenagers as well as the viewers. This was an idea that we decided to implement based on watching the trailers for The Woman in Black and The Strangers. The Strangers also included shots of seeing the masked antagonist terrorising the two protagonists. Another element in our trailer that is similar to the subgenre would be the voiceover that we have included in our trailer of a female voice saying a rhyme about the setting. This was influenced by The Woman in Black, which also has a voiceover, though it is of a younger girl singing a rhyme. We then have the idea of using an old musical box for the main part of our music for the trailer. This is a similar approach to the record playing in the trailer for The Strangers before the fast-paced scenes of the trailer kick in. Then we also have the idea of using abandoned locations in our trailer, which are also used in The Strangers. For example, in some shots you see the couple had just moved into the house. In my opinion, my original posters had a small effect on the development of the final movie trailer, due to our original idea being related to the fact that the two teenage girls knew a guy who was going to be killed by the antagonists. However, I decided to discuss this with our group to try and convince them that we didn't need to have a killing take place in the trailer, as it wouldn't properly fit in with the subgenre and would push it more towards the borders of being a thriller or a slasher horror title. Next, I'm going to talk about the promotion of my products. My horror movie poster would be the most successful at promoting the final trailer. This is mainly because my poster consists of showing the two masks that the antagonists wear in the trailer, plus it also has a main image of the setting in which we recorded the trailer in, for example the abandoned building. My poster could potentially be used as a teaser for a trailer that is coming out at a later date, or it could even be used to promote the release date of the full film, with it being released in the cinemas. In my opinion, my website didn't really promote my trailer well enough, due to there not being enough interaction to grab the audience's attention. The main background of my website is just in plain black, and when compared to other official horror movie websites, they always tend to have a very detailed background image of one of the shots from the trailer, such as a brutal killing of one of the victims in the film. My horror movie poster for The Watched is the most successful at targeting our audience because of a few reasons which I will now describe. For example, my poster contains separate images on both sides which show half of each mask that the antagonists in our trailer wear. This also adds an element of suspense into the film as to who the killers actually are and why they are actually targeting anyone who enters the location. Another way in which my poster is best for the psychological horror subgenre is because of the bloody ceiling effect that I use to be like the roof of the location. The final reason why my poster is mainly targeting the horror audience is because of the colour scheme that I have decided to use for my poster. For example, I've used white for the main titling for the poster, I've used red for the release date and the website, and used black for the main background. This colour palette is typically conventional to the colour palette that is used for many other horror movie posters. Plus, with some posters, the colours can even symbolise certain themes of the films or events that will occur. For example, someone's death that occurs in the actual film. Now I am going to talk about elements that I was proud of. The main parts of the editing that I mainly liked in our trailer were how we used the fade to black effect between movie studio logos. The effect was used between the titles appearing and the dragging of one of the teenagers. The shots we also used the fade to black effect with were also conventional to other horror movie trailers, as they used the same effect between the logos of the various studios who have been making the film. Another effect that we have used in our trailer was the crossfade effect between shots that were establishing the setting and scenes for the trailer. The crossfade effect is used in The Strangers and Friday the 13th between the shots in the opening that were establishing the setting to the viewers. For my design of my poster, it was originally going to contain two masks that were going to be in the middle of the house with a knife separating them, which is one of the most common horror props to be placed into a horror movie poster. A few weeks later, however, I decided that I didn't need to place a knife onto the poster, as this was more conventional to the thriller / slasher subgenres of horror. In the end, the design of my poster led to me making a ceiling that looked to be dripping blood at the top, with a main image of the interior of the abandoned location to the left and the right of the setting. I decided to cut out half of both of the masks and place them to both sides of the poster near to the image of the setting. The design of our horror movie trailer mainly was going to be that it was going to be about two teenagers that take shelter in an abandoned location. They notice strange events occurring. For example, one of the masked antagonists is spotted in a mirror. Then the two teenage protagonists call one of their friends to the location, who gets killed on the spot by the masked antagonist. I thought with our group that this would become hard to produce, however, due to needing more actors and needing to take more precise shots of that person being actually dead. So to make the trailer more psychological, we decided to take out the friend who enters and center the entire trailer on the two teenage girls who take refuge in the building from the heavy rain. For camera work, I have come to the opinion that we needed to record and capture many different types of shots, such as close-ups, long shots, chase scene shots and others. We used the close-up to the mirror of when Elizabeth was looking into the mirror. The viewers would then notice the fast appearance and disappearance of one of the masked antagonists. Another shot that took quite a long time to produce was the chase scene, where one of the masked antagonists was chasing the two teenagers through a park with a knife. This later became one of our fast-paced shots for the final horror movie trailer. For photography, in my poster I decided I was going to take pictures of both of my masks, the setting in which we agreed to film in, and that I would create like a blood ceiling effect for near the top of the poster. I also later decided that with the two masks I would cut them in half and place them at both sides of the house to add a sense of mystery to my poster. Next I'm going to talk about my opinion on my coursework pieces. I would say that my coursework piece that is much stronger compared to the others is the poster. The reason being is I was able to create a separate background image that would show the setting from a horror movie trailer. I was also able to create the bloody ceiling effect at the top of the poster by using a larger paintbrush in Adobe Photoshop and painting repeatedly in like a zigzag fashion. The poster is better than my website also because, in my opinion, I had no limitations to using the bloody ceiling or changing my background colours. My poster is better than my website because it goes straight to the point with promoting the horror movie trailer. I was unable to get the bloody ceiling effect to work as part of the homepage for my website. Next, I'm going to talk about improvements that I could make to my website. In my opinion, I would say that out of all the coursework pieces from this year, my website is the worst of them all, for quite a few reasons. Firstly, the fact that I couldn't find any way of adding images to other places on the page, except from where I actually added elements to, because I wanted to add the blood ceiling effect to my home page, which would look similar to my horror movie poster. I could have also added a splash screen page that showed an animated image of when an antagonist appears and disappears from one of the teenagers' view. This would have added a sense of mystery to people whenever they entered my website. Another improvement that I could have made was that I could have changed the background image to one of the setting of the abandoned nursery that we filmed our trailer in. Next I'm going to talk about is how my skills have developed over the media course. For research and planning, I would say that my skills at researching the conventions of the horror movie industry and the radio conventions have highly improved, such as me being able to find the points that are most important to discuss in my work and my blog. I would say that over my technical skills that I have slightly improved in using the program called Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Premiere. The reason being is because with Adobe Photoshop I have learned how to use the background eraser, I've learned how to use effects in my titling and in other text that is on my poster. I have also learned how to cut out half of images and then place them onto a specific part of my poster, which could be used as part of my final horror movie poster. I have also learned how to use the burn tool to smudge out the edges of an image to make it look like it were just cut out from a picture that I'd taken on a camera. Plus, with Adobe Premiere, I have learned how to create motion tweens, such as having a shot moving from the left to the right within a certain amount of seconds, or by having a specific shot zoom in a specific amount of time. For example, in the shot of Elizabeth looking into the mirror, we decided that we were going to zoom into the mirror to clearly show the antagonist appearing and disappearing into the mirror, to add an effect of suspense to the trailer. In my opinion, my creativity has improved as well. The reason being is, in my blog I've been using more multimedia products, such as by using prezzies to show up and display my text and findings for the conventions of horror movie trailers and posters and websites. Plus, I have also used Photoshop to edit out images and create collages for my blog, which I weren't really much of a good person to use Photoshop at the beginning of the year, but over time my skills with Adobe Photoshop have improved, such as me being able to create a more advanced image of my horror movie poster and using certain effects to add a certain difference to my poster when comparing it to other horror movie posters from a professional standard. Thanks for your time, and I've now discussed all points related to my products.